Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello.
My name is Ethan,
And I'm David.
and we are Those Nerds You Know.
Yeah.
Welcome down to another week with us. And today, this week, it's a big week.
Yeah?
Because last week was a big week. Because, the SNES came out last week. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic came out last Friday. Guess which nerd got his grimy little hands on one?
I'll give you a hint. It wasn't me.
This nerd. Oh, yes. So I heard about this thing back in June, I think, probably.
Mm-hmm.
June or July when I originally heard about it, and I was like, yes, sign me up. I want this bad.
Yeah.
My first video game experience in life was with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and like my first game was Donkey Kong Country. That's the first game I really remember playing.
It's a classic.
It's such a good game. I love this game, and I saw that it was going to be on this, and I was like, done. I'm purchasing this because I don't have the SNES anymore. I don't have those games anymore.
I was going to say, it's like, do you have the SNES anymore? Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
GameStop actually bought that from me several years ago. Long time ago. But yeah. Interesting. What was I? Right. Right. Yes. So I was like, I totally want to buy this because of just that game. But also there's tons of other games on it that are really fun. Games that I haven't been able to play. I haven't gotten the chance to play. This looked like a really cool opportunity to have a piece of awesome Nintendo history and nostalgia. It also comes with 2 controllers, and so a lot of the games, right? And a lot of the games are 2 player. So it's just set up and good price, $80. Like, it's set up to just be like
it's
perfect.
Steal.
It was so good, yeah. Such a good price, such a good package, and I was like, yes. And then I read up on like everything that was going on with pre-orders and like what happened last year with the NES
What
Classic.
pre-orders?
Right, yeah, what pre-orders. And originally, I don't even think we were planning to have pre-orders here in America, but I think eventually they did, or the rumors were that they weren't, and eventually they did. I missed that train, though. I totally missed whatever day it happened, and I'm sure that all sold out in like half an hour. So I was like, I gotta be there. I gotta find a place. I gotta get this SNES. Gotta get my hands on it on September 29th. And so with that, I set out to figure out how the frick I could do it, and I decided I would go to. I looked. BrickSeek is a little website that basically everybody was using, from what I could tell. That could tell you the projected inventory, like stock, in different stores of certain items.
What? I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
is it an app?
Yeah. No, it's like a little. It's just a website called BrickSeek.
Interesting.
It's like when I looked up SNES or like where to get one and things like that would pop up sometimes, and so I just started using it. But essentially, it gave you. I don't know where they got the information somehow, or that they would look at, I guess maybe shipping or different things, or just I don't know. Maybe somehow got their hands
like manifests and stuff, like shipping,
things of that nature.
Interesting.
And so, like they said, it said there were going to be supposedly 32 units at the Walmart by my house.
Yes.
The closest one on College. And I was like, all right, that sounds good. That one, and I looked it up. That particular Walmart is not a 24-hour one. So all the other 24-hour ones were doing like midnight releases and stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to fight that fight at all.
Nope.
But this one opens at 6 a.m. And I was like, I'll fight that fight. Sure. I'll wake up a little bit early, go in there before work, grab one of these bad boys. Because I figured most of the people that really, really wanted them had pre-ordered them.
Yeah. If they could. That's why I was joking about it before, is that like very few places that were offering pre-orders were offering it for very long, and any ones that were sold out pretty quickly. And so, it's just...
Right. So this is me. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m., I'm going to get showered, I'm going to get ready for work, I'm going to go to this place at 6, it's going to open at 6, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to be in the line, I'm going to get my SNES, I'm going to walk out, and I'm going to go to work, I guess, really early, maybe, or drop it back off my house, whatever. Maybe nap. Who knows? Rainbows and butterflies in my head, you know what I mean? So I show up at 6. I show up slightly before 6. I drive up. There's one guy sitting outside. No, there's no one intense.
No, it isn't.
I show up. There's one guy standing outside of the door. There's like a security guard in her SUV that is backed up to the door. I don't know if that's common protocol. I don't know, but she's just hanging out there. So like employees are going in and things like that, but I assume she was there to make sure that non-employees didn't go in. Anyway, I just see the one guy, so I'm like, I'm gonna hang in my car until I'm ready. I'm gonna go out there and stand in the heat. At 5:45, it was hot.
Yeah, that's the South.
Anyways, and then eventually another guy gets in line. I was like, all right, I'll go be third. So I got out of the car. I was third, and then a few more people walked up. By the time we all went in, there was not really any kind of actual line. It was just it was a mob of us. A mob, I say a mob. There was like 8 of us. Maybe 10.
Yeah.
We all walk in there, we make our way to the back. There's 2 kids standing there who apparently had just walked in earlier and no one said anything. So they were just standing at the back near where the employees would go into the warehouse and things of that nature, waiting on someone because they had apparently gotten someone already to go back and check it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all sitting there, standing behind these 2 kids, and eventually an employee comes out and she's like, "So what is it y'all looking for? Like, it's like a Switch, like upgrade something, right?" And we're like, "Nah, it's got a Super Nintendo Classic." She's like, "Oh, okay." So she goes in the back. This was after like 15 minutes. We've been there for like 10-15 minutes already.
Yeah.
That was her first emergence. Yeah. She goes back in there. We wait another 10 minutes. She comes out. It's about 6:25, almost 6:30. She comes out. So we've been waiting here for nearly half an hour. She's like, "We don't have it. It ain't here. They didn't deliver it." And we're like, "Do you know when you're getting a shipment?" And she's like, "Nah, we don't want to get a shipment." And we're like, okay. So we're all real sad at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of people leave. I walk around the electronics a little bit more, and I'm like, man, I really wanted a SNES today. So I guess to make myself feel better, I'll buy me some DVDs because they have some anime and stuff like that. Nice. That's why I have the Yu-Gi-Oh movie and the Digimon movie.
That's where you got it. Okay, cool.
Bought that because I was like, I guess I'll just get these. And then I needed some card sleeves for Smash Up. So I went to the front and I got some card sleeves. And I stood in line to check out. As I was in line to check out, yes, there was a line at 6:30 in the morning. Jeez. I got in line. It wasn't very long. I think there was 2 people deep. I got in line. As I get in line, I see the corner of my eyeballs the 2 kids, or at least one of the 2 kids, and then the guy that was first in line. We'd been chatting a bit while we were in line. And so the guy that was first in line and that kid following a different employee from the front of the store where I was in line back to the back where the electronics were. And I was like, maybe they know something I don't know. So I got out of line, followed them. And essentially, it turns out they went to the customer service and they were trying to see if they could look up to see if they actually had this or not. Because we weren't sure if because the lady didn't even know what she was looking for. So we were like,
she had no idea.
She had no clue. So we were like, they were like, we don't really trust it. We're going to see. And good call on their part. This lady goes back there. I think she eventually comes back out. I don't even know if she said anything to us. I think she didn't find anything, and then she was scrambling, trying to find someone else who could maybe find something. Anyway, we get nothing out of her journey back there.
Okay.
0 things.
But did she find something in her log or something? That's why she went there?
That's the other thing. Up to this point, that first lady and this lady, no one we've talked to thus far has the ability to actually look at something online. They don't have the credentials. They don't have the actual ability do that. Yes.
I don't know retail on a big scale though, but like
it's very weird. And it's very weird that she would just say nah when she couldn't actually look at the system.
Yeah,
it was just 6 a.m. and she was like, I don't want to deal with this. Yeah, that's really what it was.
Yeah,
she was just like, nah, just go away.
I thought you were about to say you saw those 2 kids and that first guy all carrying classics.
They got 8 of them,
and I'm just like, what the heck?
No, definitely did not happen. So we sit around. I'm like, I'll give it till 6:45 or whatever. We sit. Waiting on this lady. I'm playing a game on my phone. So there's 4 of us. There's the 2 kids, the guy that was first in line outside, and me. Then, about 6:45, someone walks up and says manager on his shirt. We're like, cool. It's a co-manager of the whole Walmart. Gotcha?
Nice.
We're like, hey.
He knows things.
We're looking for this. And we have an SKU number. We have like the other thing, like UNC or something. We have numbers for this product.
Yeah.
Can you
SKU
look
numbers, ISBNs.
Yes. He pulls out a little device, which is like a smartphone, covered in a nice thick case.
Yeah.
Something that an employee would have to look things up. He looks up the SKU number, looks up the other stuff. He's like, I'm not seeing anything on here, but that doesn't mean we don't have it. I'll go in the back. I'll look around for a bit. He goes in the back. He looks around for a bit. Third person we've sent to the back. We're sitting around. It's like 6:58. Almost 7. We've been here for an hour.
An hour, yeah. Early in the morning.
Nothing and have accomplished nothing at this place that's supposed to have 32 SNESs. He walks out and he's like, look, I don't see this thing. But the electronics associate, so the person that runs the electronics section, that works the electronics section, will be here at 7. That's when they come in. They don't come in at 6 when the rest of us come in. They'll be here at 7.
Mm-hmm.
They probably know exactly a yes or no to this question. They probably know exactly what's going on. So if you want to wait for them, they'll probably help you out. Right about this time, a lady walks by, says good morning, walks into the back, and he walks in the back with her. Unbeknownst to us, she was the electronics associate. So I go lean up on the electronics register. Just go hang out there because I'm like, once she shows up, I'm gonna get here, my freaking SNES. I'm gonna be like, right here. She rolls out. So me and the other guy who was first in line are both at the register, and the other 2 kids are like hanging around somewhere. She rolls out with a dolly, 4 boxes on it say Nintendo. Pulls it up in there. It's 4 Switches, and we're like,
what the heck? How does this happen?
I haven't spoken really at all because if I was gonna speak, I'd probably just
yell.
Whoa. Yeah.
So beast.
English, words, language. Anyway, but luckily the guy who was first in line outside was very cool-minded. He was like, nah, this is what we're looking for. Like, he had a picture of it on his phone. So he pulls it up on his phone and lets her see it. And he's like, this is SNES. This is what we're looking for. And she just takes one little glance at it. She's like, oh, we got those 2. I'm a fix you up. I'll go get you. And so she takes the Switches back to the back. She calls a manager to come to the electronics cage. So which tells me there's probably like a place in the back that's locked that no one could get into.
Which would make sense.
Which is where they would keep things like that, right?
When in my bookstore, when we got the Harry Potter Cursed Child book, we got them in boxes like we normally do when we get books that are strict on sale, which means they don't go out until a specific date. But in the case of this thing, because we knew it was going to be like high whatever, like this was going to be a high priority type thing.
Right.
They had, when we got the boxes, they were like wrapped up in like black plastic basically, so you couldn't even get to the box without breaking a seal basically. And so I imagine it was something that their company may or may not have known, that this may or may not have been a big deal. Probably would have been like put away somewhere.
Most definitely. But she knew exactly what it was. And like, those were the best words we'd heard all morning. Yeah. We'd been there for over an hour at this point. Yeah. She was like, we definitely got those. No worries. And we were like, this is it, guys. This is it. Yeah. We made it. And so we're standing in line. It's taking a little longer for her to get the stuff because she has to get someone to come in and lock it right there. But that's fine. We know she has it, so we're all cool. We're relaxing. I'm first in line. Then guy that stood outside, and then 2 kids. While we're standing in the line, some guy rocks up. He just walks up, him and his girl. He's like, y'all waiting in line for this Super Nintendo thing? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, bro, there's an IHOP in this parking lot, right? The series of parking lots at the Walmart.
Yeah, at the front of it.
It's right in the front of the Walmart. Mm-hmm. He's like, I was just sitting at the IHOP having breakfast, and I looked on my phone and it said this thing came out today. I was like, that looks pretty cool. I'll go see if they have one. This man just walks up here at the perfect moment, not knowing until today that this thing even existed. Oh, and I'm like, you are the definition of serendipity. Right. This is, who are you? I just want to follow you around all day and just get things.
How does that happen?
How does that even? What happened? Yes, just ridiculous. Because at this point also, we're the only 4 remaining from the morning.
Follow this guy on Black Friday.
Right? Like, we're the only 4 people remaining from this group of like 10 to 15 of us this morning. Yeah. Who all left brokenhearted. So the four of us are still here. We handled it, and this man just shows up. Like, hey, is there a SNES here? And we're like, hopefully there's 32 of them. Like, cool, I'm gonna give me one, and that's it. One other person showed up, who also was like, hey, y'all waiting for the SNES? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll just wait with y'all. That's fine. And that's it. And I'm just like, but this guy just
right.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
What is this magic?
Real talk. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know when until you texted me or you were telling me about the fact that you were going to get up early and go to a Walmart and get it. And I was like, well, that sounds like a great idea. I don't know if I really want to do that, but that sounds great.
I'd have picked you up, bro. We'd have done
it. I would have had a SNES right now.
You would have had a SNES. So yeah, she eventually walks out with a box. Open cardboard box that's full of SNESes, so it probably had 8 in there, and it had one sitting on top. And I'm like, that's not. So she gets a little nothing. I'll take one of those and all of these, and I put my 2 DVDs and my card sleeves up there.
Yeah, nice.
I was like, yep, happy day. That was the first SNES purchase in that Walmart. Got it. I was like, guys, it's been great. Have a wonderful day.
Guys, it's been great.
Peace out. Got some McDonald's for breakfast. Showed up to work 20 minutes early still. I just kept my SNES on my desk all day. Like, I just put it on my desk.
That's awesome.
And it's just like...
Were you surprised at how small it was when you got it?
I was super... Well, no. I wasn't surprised at the size of the box.
Oh, okay.
The box was quite hefty.
Okay.
And with everything packed in, and I was like, this is cool. I was surprised when I opened the box and I saw actually how small it was.
Yeah, how the portion of the box
good Lord, this is so small.
It's really teeny.
It was a tiny, tiny thing. But I was so happy. Yeah, no,
It's not much bigger than a Game Boy.
No, like, yeah. It's like, it's probably the same, I don't know, mass or whatever of a original Game Boy.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, no, and so, yep, I was just anticipating it all day. I was like, I brought, because originally I was staying the night in Hammond. At my girlfriend's place, and so my original thought was, okay, I probably won't play this until Saturday night when I get back to my house. And I was just like, no, this can't stand. So
can't stand. This aggression will not stand.
When I left work, I went back home and grabbed a couple things I needed for the weekend, and I also grabbed my television. I just packed up my television because she doesn't have a television. That's why I wasn't going to be able to play it. She doesn't have a TV. Her roommate doesn't have a TV. They don't have a TV in their
what the heck
in their apartment. I mean, they're grad students. They wouldn't have time for it anyway.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
And so I'm like, nah, this is happening. So I just bring my TV an hour away to Hammond.
Right.
We got dinner at a nice restaurant. It was nice. And we came back and we played SNES. And yeah.
That's awesome.
So good.
What'd you guys play?
Such a good time. Our first night, we played Donkey Kong. We probably played Mario. We tried a few different things. That might have been the night we played Kirby as well. And the second night we played Street Fighter and Donkey Kong almost exclusively. Those two things. Played a good bit of Street Fighter. We played hours of Donkey Kong. Like 2-3 hours of Donkey Kong. It was so fun. We played the contest mode. You and I played she and I actually played the cooperative mode at first, and then we played the contest. She's competitive, which is fine.
But
yeah, we played the contest mode, which is where I would play around by myself, and whenever I die or pass a level, it goes to her, and you see who can go the farthest. Essentially,
that's cool.
I got real far. And she ended up having similar troubles to you.
Yeah.
David played the game a little bit before.
I'm bad at games. I'm bad at games so much. Video games, I guess, is the conclusion I've come to.
Right. Well, David didn't start games until the GameCube, right?
Yeah, GameCube was my first console.
System,
yeah, I was way late to the party, guys. I don't know any of the games on this SNES. I was excited for the idea of playing a lot of these old games because they're classic games. They are popular classic games people grew up with. And I was like, man, I would love to play these games just to like experience that a little bit. And to have a console like this where you have the controller where it's like the same way and everything and it plays and stuff like that. Like I was expecting it to be like an authentic experience basically, and it is from what little I played with you.
It's also authentically frustrating.
It is authentically frustrating. There's no tutorials.
No, yeah, that's it. You got in the game when tutorials were like the tutorial game was strong.
Yeah,
and like they welcomed you into the game and taught you how to do things. The closest thing we found to that was when we played Star Fox. They gave you a map
of what all the buttons did.
The buttons.
That's it.
That's the closest thing we got to a tutorial, and I feel like that's the best, David. That's all you need,
right?
But yeah, no, these games just let you have it. Like you opened up level 1 and you just walk onto the map and you've got no idea how to play and you just go about it. Super Mario World had these little boxes that you could jump up and hit, and they would tell you how to do certain things. But I mean, like, they are also... All these games were working under the assumption that you had played games before.
Yes.
And that you had played probably games similar to this or in that same vein. Like,
yes, because the Super Nintendo was, like, not the first Nintendo console. It was the second, right? Or second. One of the later ones. Yeah. And so, like, the games that are on these things are, like sequels or whatever of games that have been out, or like, you know, these are newer things. Yeah, Super Mario's, the sequels of like Super Punch Out instead of regular Punch Out, like Super Mario, those kinds of things.
A lot of super things. Super Metroid, I think it was the third Metroid game.
Yeah. 5IC3, like so there was quite a few like, you know, extra new titles to existing Zelda. IPs.
Right.
Yeah, no, this wasn't the first Zelda. This was was it Link to the Past? Is this one? Or
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, and this one was like I don't know where it falls into the timeline of the.
Let me just do this for anybody who doesn't know. I'm gonna read this off. We're gonna get this. I got the box right in front of me.
Do it.
That I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. These are the games on this in alphabetical order. Contra 3, The Alien Wars. I have not played this one yet.
No,
Donkey Kong Country. I've played this one more than anything else on this game. Earthbound. Haven't played that yet. Final Fantasy 3. Played that a little bit. F-Zero. I watched David play this and he won. Great job, David.
Yeah, I won the one game. It was great.
Kirby Dream Course. Haven't played that yet. Kirby Superstar, which is a collection of like 8 mini games. That is 2-player. Anna and I played that and we beat it. We beat a game.
Okay, one of the 8 games.
One of the 8 games, which was super fun. She told me later she had no idea what she was doing during it. So I was like, that's fine. You were a good support.
That's how it is.
You were there for me. That's what I needed.
You were there for me.
Mega Man X, which I have played. That game is hard, but Mega Man games are hard, and that's their nature. So that's probably exactly what it's supposed to be. Secret of Mana, played that for a little bit. It was fine, I guess. Star Fox, played that. Gosh, that game is hard.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It wasn't until the later games that they added like the reticle or whatever, where you can like you see where the blasts are going to go.
Where you know where you're shooting. Yeah.
I was just like, that was the problem with it. I was like, look, I can dodge and roll and goofy things like that, but I'm like, I can't see where my bullets are going. So,
Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, and I played that. It's a good time. Super Castlevania 4. Have not played that yet, but I'm super excited to play it
gracious.
Now that I've watched the show and haven't played a single Castlevania game in my life. So this will be my first one. Super Ghouls and Ghosts have not played. Super Mario Kart did play that game. It was just as hard as I remember it. I played it once when I was a child. And I was like, I remember, because at that point I had played already. I'd played the Mario Kart on the 64, and I'd probably played Double Dash or whatever one was on the GameCube at that point.
Double Dash was my favorite.
Double
Dash was my first game.
Someone just had this old game at their house, had the Super Mario Kart, and we played it, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
How does one...
Mario Kart.
Yes. However, when I played with Anna, I actually ended up doing fairly well.
Nice.
And I won.
Nice.
It's Bowser, because he's the best.
Because he's the best. Out of what? The 6 choices you have in that game?
You had 8 in that one, I think. Right? Yeah, you can Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad. You can be a Koopa. You can be a Yoshi. You can be a Bowser. You can be a Donkey Kong. Yeah, 8 choices.
Nice.
What was I doing? Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars. Have not even touched that. Don't even know what it is. Didn't know it existed. Super Mario World.
It's like Mario, but like if it was Final Fantasy. Like it's one of the few RPGs for Mario. It's really good. I haven't played it.
Super Mario World did play, and then I did play that. That was fun. Super Metroid, did play that game. It's another game that doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
I had to look up online how to do something because I didn't know what was going on. So there are different portals that have doors, and when you shoot a blue door with your regular blaster, it'll open up. Mm-hmm. But a red door won't. And so I'm like, what do I do to open this? Because there was a point where I couldn't do anything unless I would go through a red door. Red doors were the only doors I hadn't explored.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to do. I remember shooting a rocket at it, and nothing happened. Like, it blinked a little bit, but it didn't open. And I'm like, well, I guess not. The way you have to do it is you have to shoot 5 rockets at this thing to get the door to open. And when you first get rockets, 5 is your max. And so I don't know anyone who would think, oh, I guess I just have to shoot all of my ammunition at this door to open it. I don't know anyone who would come to that conclusion. I don't know.
That's nuts.
I don't know. That never would have crossed my mind. So that I had to look up. But once I got through there, I just started expecting weird things, and it was fine.
And then it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some bosses in that. I've fought like a couple of mini bosses in that already, and they are not easy.
No.
That game.
No. This was games. The people didn't hold your hand back then.
No, they did not.
Which is one of the things I don't understand why like people like when people talk about how Japan doesn't think that whatever their game is ready for an American audience because Americans aren't good at games or whatever. Like Americans have been playing these hard games forever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's probably also a thing that has to do with why I'm not as good at games as other people are, is because people grew up with games like this and I didn't. I grew up with GameCube games where there was tutorials and explanations and things like that. Yep. I like the hand holding in games, guys. Shut up. I like my hand being held sometimes.
So after that, we've got Super Punch Out, which both of us have played, and you are far better at.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, I did appreciate that game. My thing about it was, so I played the Punch Out Wii game, which was I watched an extra credits video where they discussed how the animation from the old Punch-Out translated to the Wii Punch-Out. And so you see all the same characters and they're all just like 3D basically, and they're pretty cool. And I saw that and I was like, man, this is really great. I want to learn how to do those kinds of things. And so I played a crap ton. So I never owned Punch-Out for the Wii. Mm-hmm. But when I went to PAX South with Eddie, they had a game room, and one night when we were done with everything else, I went to the game room, and I was like, man, what do I want to play? And I couldn't think of a game I could play. So they had a list. They had this huge console room where basically what happened is you'd give them your ID, and you could rent a game and whatever console, objects they had, basically. And most of the consoles were not open. Like, they had, everybody was on the PlayStations and on the Xboxes playing all the fighting games, and Smash Brothers on the, Wii U's and all those different things like that. And I found they had a Wii available, and
Wii Sports. Let's go.
Somebody was, or the Wii wasn't available yet. There was a guy playing Punch Out with his girlfriend, and they just weren't getting it. They were in the minor range, and they couldn't figure it out. They didn't understand, and so they couldn't get it. And so finally they gave up on it. And I was like, hey, the guy's giving it back. I was like, hey, whenever you get that back, is it cool if I play? And he's like, yeah, I don't care, man. It's whatever. And so he turned it in, and I asked them, hey, can I get the game he had? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they gave me the things. I got it up there. And Eddie at this time, I think he was in a panel or he was checking out something. So he came later. So I got this game, and I started it up, and I just started playing. And I played for hours, probably. I got all the way through the minor league.
Next thing I knew, it was 6 a.m.
I got all the way through the minor league. I
punched everybody out.
I got all the way through the minor league. And I got all the way through the major league, but I got to the first or second battle of the championship, the third round. Basically, there's so you start off in a regular gym, and then you go to different things like that. But basically, it's you see these ticks the characters have, and you see where they're when they do the tick, they're about to do a thing, and so you have to time everything right. And I got really good at that. But the difference being
like a dance
in the Punch Out in the Punch Out game for the Wii, you have to do the punching motion. Yeah. And so my forearms
that was a great punching motion.
Shot. My forearms were
I don't think
bad
that's a punching motion.
No, you had to do the thing though. You had to move the sticks.
I wish everybody was here to see. I'll describe what happened. So lift your hands, ball your fists, lift your hands up, and so that they're right next to your jaws. Push them out a few inches forward, and then wiggle them back and forth really fast. Make sure that your elbows are out, 90 degrees to the floor, 90 degrees to your body, parallel to the floor.
Parallel to the floor.
Wiggle your fists back and forth.
Yes.
That is the punching motion.
Yes.
As prescribed by David.
That's how you do it with the Wii.
That's how you punch on the Wii.
But no, so I played a crap ton of that, and it was cool. So I was excited to play that when I saw it on the list of games for the SNES, because I was like, man, I want to play the original. I want to see what the original's like compared to the old. It's hard. It's really hard. And the ticks, I think, are not as clear. And also, it's not as forgiving. Like, when you see the tick, the punch is coming immediately after. You know what I mean? So you have information that this guy's going to do this thing, but you don't necessarily have as much time to avoid that hit. And so I got hit a lot. I got hit a lot. But it made me really interested in playing more of that, and I really want to like look up like strategies and stuff like that and get really good at that, because that was a fun game. That was probably the game I had the most fun with in the gaming session I just had with you.
Yeah.
Maybe F-Zero. I mean, F-Zero I won, but I didn't have fun winning it.
You couldn't tell how you win.
I was so bad at it. And it was
you were passing people, and other people were passing you,
and it wasn't
affecting you. Yeah, it wasn't affecting your place.
I was like, are these robots?
Why are they just decoys? They must have been just decoys. I don't know.
I was like, why am I not going up in rank? I just passed like 2 guys.
Yeah. So after Super Punch-Out, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
I really want to play that.
I've not played this game ever, and I'm excited to do so.
It's a good one.
Haven't played it yet. Yoshi's Island is also in here. It's Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Yep. And final is Star Fox 2, which was never released before now, outside of like a leak on a ROM, I think. Mm-hmm. This was its first official release.
Yeah.
And you get it you actually have to unlock it. It's the one thing on here you have to unlock that I've seen thus far, unless there's secret stuff in here.
Yeah.
Maybe there's secret stuff in here.
Oh man, maybe there is.
But yeah, you unlock it by beating the first level of Star Fox. So I had to play Star Fox, and that was not easy. This was Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure this was the first sort of foray into various 3D types of games. Mm-hmm. Before we'd really mastered or started really getting down how 3D would work, and on the N64 and like sort of like the birth of the 3D platformer and different 3D racing games and things of that nature. But like your Mario Kart, your F-Zero is all more or less 3D. You have a little bit of depth to it. Mm-hmm. And then your Donkey Kong is shaded really, really well, so it appears 3D.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not actually 3D. It's a side scroller 2D game, but it appears. The art in it is done very well, so it appears very 3D. And then
the music's done very well in that too. It's a
gosh,
good game.
Everything about that. Like when I fired that up, it was so good, man. Just the music in that game. Also, I appreciate when you open the box and there you go. Get your first little lip there. Hidden when you open it says, "Now you're playing with superpower." Which is so cool.
Yes.
And it's a callback to the original Nintendo system, because their logo or their slogan was "Now you're playing with power" for the NES. So when you went up to the Super Nintendo, it was "Now you're playing with superpower."
That's really cool.
Super freaking cool. I appreciated that a lot. That was fun.
That's a good callback.
It's so cool. But yeah, we've got I wonder if you could plug these if you could plug the controllers into the Wii or Wii U or whatever.
I'm not certain. They have the same
they have the same
plug-in. So I don't know. I don't know what their compatibility is with the Wii controllers. I'm wondering if Nintendo's going to make more of these. Like, there's talk that they're going to make more of these next year. Like they're going to release more of these next year. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering like if if when they sell out of that, is that it for good? Like, are they just going to keep printing these out that people can actually purchase them to their content?
I'm sure.
Because I know lots of people.
If they put out another shipment right now, they'd sell out again.
Yeah, sure exactly.
They totally would. So they can just keep making money if they want to. And if they made the NES Classic again, they would make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, is there any reason why they shouldn't? Like, is there?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know why Nintendo makes some of the decisions they make. I have no idea. Maybe it's so that scalpers can sell stuff on eBay. I don't know.
So I heard there's a group of people that are making I think they're doing a Kickstarter for it, or maybe it's a pre-order thing. I don't know. There's a group of people that are making a mini Commodore 64 with pre-installed Commodore 64 games on it.
That sounds cool.
And it does sound cool, but apparently what the idea is, a lot of people are kind of skeptical about pre-ordering it and or signing up for it, because apparently the company that's doing it is a couple of guys who used to be a part of another company by a similar name. I don't know the names of the companies off the top of my head, but they used to be with this similar company who was trying to do this exact thing before, except it would be a regular size Commodore 64. Like it'd be regular size, but it'd be doing the same exact thing. And they started an Indiegogo campaign where they, or Kickstarter or something like that. I think it was an Indiegogo, where they got people to pay them money to make this thing. And then it's been a year past when they said the thing was going to release, and it still hasn't released, basically. And so these guys have left that project and pursued this project where they're asking people to pay them ahead of time for this mini version of it, even though the first one hasn't come out yet. And so I don't know any games on the Commodore 64 I really want to get my hands on anyway.
Right.
So, but I just thought it was really funny that everybody's just like, man, people like these mini versions of old consoles. Let's do that.
Everybody likes the ROMs and the Raspberry Pis and things like that, and putting all these old games on stuff. And like people like getting old games on, the virtual stores on the Wii U or the different things of that nature, and that's cool. And I think it's great. I think it's good that these games are getting released. And it begs the question: why would you get this if you could just get a ROM, or if you could just get a Raspberry Pi, or with just tons of every game ever for this SNES? Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, it goes back to why I purchased this in the first place, was because it was nostalgia. I love this system. It was my first.
Yeah.
This was the first video game system I ever played.
Yeah.
It existed in our house. I believe it was for my sisters. I just assume it was. Because I just remember it being there as long as I can remember. Like, I don't remember it being gifted to me. But we had Donkey Kong Country. We had Paperboy 2, it might have been. Maybe it was the first one. Maybe it was, I don't know. That game was super fun. Ridiculous game.
The guy passes it's when he goes on the paper route, basically.
Yeah, throwing papers.
Yeah, I hear it's hard. I hear it's really hard.
It is real difficult, yeah. Cars trying to get you. Crazy old men trying to get you. Ghosts trying to get you. Like actual poltergeist ghosts with like laser vision coming at you.
What the heck?
It is the most ridiculous thing. It is so crazy.
What the heck?
I love all the fun things you can do in it though. Like people be swinging, you can throw a paper at them and they're like flipping the swing on their porch.
That's cool.
It's so fun. Yeah. No, that game's crazy. And then we had Dr. Mario, which
that's a classic.
I firmly believe should be on this console, but it's not.
Definitely. What the heck?
It would be a great addition to this, and it's another 2-player game. It's so cool, super fun. Anyways, that game was super fun. And then Mario Paint we also had, which was super crazy and ridiculous.
Very cool.
But yeah, it was in my sister's room, so I believe it was probably for them. But I played it a lot, as much as I could. I played a lot of Donkey Kong.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you before we started recording that if years from now they decide to come out with a Nintendo GameCube classic, I'll be all up on that, because I love the GameCube, and like I said, I don't know how well it did. I don't think it did that as well compared to like the Wii and the 64 before it, as far as like popularity and things like that. But I love the GameCube, man. That was my favorite. And before I became a PlayStation guy, Nintendo, man, that was my jam. I know I got into the party way late, and I'm not even that much younger than a lot of people that have played these older games. But we just didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was very lucky.
It was very neat.
I was very lucky to have this system just in my house, and I was able to play it, and it was really cool. And cause like I said, I don't think it was specifically for me. The first system I owned that was given to me, that was like that I got an N64 that was gifted to me for Christmas. That was the first thing that was mine. In 64 with Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Taking pictures.
I played Pokemon Snap on the 64.
But it was good.
But you were saying other reasons you got it besides getting it a ROM or whatever? Besides nostalgia?
Nostalgia is the main one for me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's like, it's so cool. Look at it.
For me, I also like the idea of it's like with the ROM, you're kind of getting the thing for free.
Yeah.
While here, it's like you're actually still supporting the company that provided the games and stuff like that. And I'm all about like kind of voting with your wallet, basically. Yes. I'm all about like, hey, I love this thing. I will pay you for that thing if you would like me.
Definitely.
And so that's why I really hope that Nintendo does continue to make more of these and continue to do things like this. Because as long as people are willing to pay for it, I'm sure they're willing to make the money. You know what I mean? Like, but we'll see. We'll see.
Gosh. Nintendo's had a good year.
I wonder if they can go back and make more of the NES classics, or if it's too late now. Or
I think they can. I heard a rumor that they might be releasing more. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's really.
I don't remember anything on the NES classic that came out that I was really excited about. I think I was more excited about.
I didn't even know it really had come out. Like I didn't know about that until I heard about this.
Oh wow! Okay.
I heard about this, and they're like, "Yeah, based off of the NES classic that came out last year." And I was like, "What is? Wow, what?" But even that, like. I've played that. Mm-hmm. My cousins had one, and it made its way to our house for a few years.
Yeah,
just stayed with us, and I played on that. But like, there's nothing on it that like,
older system.
There is a Zelda game on that they had that I did play. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it was the first one.
Could have been
The Legend of Zelda.
Could have been, yeah.
But I wasn't very good at it. I've never been very good at a Zelda game because I never really understood that it was a puzzle game. Like I never got that I was supposed to be figuring stuff out. I just liked cutting things with a sword.
Yeah.
So I was never very good at those games.
Yeah.
But that existed, and then there was a Duck Hunt game, and there were a couple other things that I've played on it. But I remember it malfunctioning sometimes, and like having to like take the cartridge out and put it back in and blow on it because apparently that did something. I don't think it did anything.
I have no idea.
Different things of that nature. There might have been a Mario game for it. But yeah, I remember having that. I don't have it anymore. I don't know if my cousins have it anymore or not, but I remember that. And there's nothing that I feel quite as nostalgic for on that system as this system. Like this is, if I was going to have any of them, this is the one I would want.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
It's good. Now, if they come out with a mini 64, which some people are thinking they might, what do you think that they should have on it?
Smash Brothers?
Smash Brothers. That's what I was thinking too.
Smash Brothers?
So totally have Smash Brothers. It'll probably have Star Fox. It'll probably have Mario 64.
Star Fox, yeah. The Star Fox for the 64 was good. A lot of people hated it, but I actually did like it. I did go back and play the 64. The Zelda games, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for sure.
Yeah, yes.
Those should definitely be on there.
I imagine they'd put Ocarina before they put Majora's Mask.
Yeah, they'd probably only do one.
If they were going to pick one.
If they're going to pick one, they're going to get one. Or just probably why they would pick Star Fox as opposed to...
I'm wondering what Pokemon game they'd put on that mode.
64? Because they have Pokemon Snap and what else?
Pokemon Snap? Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, that's right. They did have Pokemon Stadium.
Hey You Pikachu.
What the heck is Hey You Pikachu?
Pokemon Puzzle League.
Oh, wow.
You've never heard of Hey You Pikachu, David?
That's I've heard of it. I never played it, though.
Let me explain you.
Explain me.
So you had...
Yeah, I did play a few GameCube games that were ports of 64 games, so I did play some 64 games.
So you had the N64 controller, right?
Yeah.
This monstrous,
alien
weird thing made for three-handed people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey You Pikachu comes with an attachment to the front of it. That's a mic.
Oh, geez.
And you can yell at Pikachu in this game and give him commands. And it was like the beta for Siri and the most excruciatingly frustrating thing ever. And like you could yell at Pikachu for days and he just wouldn't hear you.
Yeah.
All of it, because it was so poorly put together and so bad. But like it existed and it was Pokemon, so it sold.
Right.
I don't know. I wish I had some statistics. I probably should have looked that up. But
that's nuts.
I would love for them to put Hey You Pikachu on it and have this little annoying mic that comes and be just as infuriating as it was back then. Like, don't improve anything.
They should put Donkey Kong 64 on there.
Yeah.
And
that'd probably be fun.
Pokemon Snap is probably what they would probably do, if anything. Maybe Pokemon Stadium. I wouldn't mind playing Pokemon Stadium just because I've only seen gameplay for it. I haven't played it though.
I wouldn't mind seeing some Bomberman on there. Ooh,
Bomberman.
Kirby and the Crystal Shards. That would have to be on there. That is my favorite Kirby game in existence. That N64 game is awesome. I would go get a 64 right now for that. And I probably could because I've seen it in store. I've seen that cartridge in stores. And I'm like, oh, now that I have disposable income, maybe I will. I don't know. But that game is good.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Man, oh man. Yeah, and they'd probably put Mario Kart on that one too.
Yeah, that's
Mario
cool.
Kart 64.
Nostalgia's in. I'm wondering, so I mentioned the GameCube thing, and I know GameCube is pretty newish compared to these other games. It's it's newer on the spectrum. I'm wondering if, because I don't own a Switch yet, if you can buy GameCube games on the virtual store, like online.
I don't know that they've said a whole lot about the virtual store on the Switch just yet.
Yeah.
I don't think they've announced a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Something that we've been waiting for, I think. But I don't know.
But I think that's probably more likely than them coming out with a classic anytime soon. Like
for 64?
Yeah. No, for GameCube.
For GameCube, yeah.
For 64 probably. We'll probably get the 64.
Because we're still
we'll probably get the 64 in like the next 2 years or so.
We're still using hardware from the GameCube.
Yeah.
I still have an original GameCube controller that I use on the reg to play Smash Bros.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah, mine was a remake of it for the Wii U for Smash Brothers. But yeah. Because I don't own it. All the GameCube controllers I own have. When you have 4 siblings sharing GameCube controllers, you go through them pretty quick. So we don't have any actually functioning GameCube controllers. The only one I owned is the one I bought at San Japan a couple years ago.
Right. Well, here's a thought. I was wondering maybe.
That is a cool idea though. The 64 coming out, a classic 64.
Well, see, I would wonder if they would put out a classic 64, or if maybe they would start remastering some of those games. So I think they did they remaster Mario 64? I feel like they may have.
I don't know.
Might have reskinned it better, something like that, give it better graphics. I don't
think so.
I think they might have done that, but I'm
Mario
not really
64. Sure. I forgot about that one. They should definitely put Mario 64.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
I don't think they did. But I'm not certain.
Killer Instinct gotta be on there. No, I'm joking. That's just a fun game that I play.
That's just a fun game.
It's an old fighter.
Would there be a more popular fighter for the 64? Because I don't know anything about Killer Instinct. Besides Smash Brothers, I mean, like something like 1v1 basically. Like was Mortal Kombat out at that point, or
I think Mortal Kombat was pretty big at that time, and I'm thinking there was a Mortal Kombat for that game system. I don't know. Maybe that was Killer Instinct's heyday. Maybe that was the game. Maybe. I don't really know. I don't recall. I didn't play a lot of fighters for the N64. My fighters were for PS2.
Do you think other companies will jump on this mini console thing? Do you think Nintendo will release a Sega Genesis, a classic Sega Genesis or something?
I don't know. So Atari, or the company that's currently using the Atari name, has announced the system that they're going to put out, but no one knows anything other than it's going to be called. Games. No, we don't know that.
Oh,
no one. All we know is it's going to be an Atari system. It says Atari on it. It could be a whole new freaking system.
Because you can kind of already do that. Like they've kind of already got old Atari things, don't they? Like plug and play that you can put in your TV
something like that.
I used to
have a freaking kit that you can.
I used to have one that had Pac-Man on it, and you could play old Pac-Man and Asteroid and Goofy things like that.
Things like that. No, but whatever company has Atari's name has announced a new Atari system.
Huh.
And it's really funny because like you can see it. You can look up. They've released a couple of images of it, and I was looking at it the other day. They're like, "Oh, it looks so beautiful." And I'm like, really though? Because like, let me see here. Atari new console. This thing.
That's the new Atari?
Supposedly. Got this nice little wood panel on the front.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the wood panel is so, they're like, wood panel is so gorgeous.
Does it look like a...
This looks like a really nice VCR.
Right.
From the early 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is why don't put wood paneling on anything.
Right.
Why is it on this?
Why we're gonna bring that back?
Even for nostalgia's sake.
Right.
But anyways,
I heard there's another version of the SNES Classic that came out in the UK that has a different look than this one. It looks a little bit
correct, because the Famicom is what came out for them.
Yeah.
So in Nintendo, in Japan world, in Japan the systems were the Famicom and the Super Famicom, I think, or the Famicom 2 or something to that effect. And
or Famicom, I thought it was.
Yeah, maybe sure.
Something like
that's
that.
what it's called.
So it's like Family Computer or something like that.
Yes, and in the UK and in Australia, they were just straight ports of that were released, but they changed the look of them for America. So ours does not look the same as their system.
Oh.
So yes, their mini looks different.
That's interesting.
That is.
I know. I was reading a review on like Polygon or Kotaku or something like that when they were talking about how we get the SNES Classic, but it doesn't look as good as the UK's version of it, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I do kind of see that what they're saying.
I don't really like those versions. SNES Classic Australia images. Yeah, this is what they got. This is their little guy.
Yeah, it looks all kind of fancy. I like the colored buttons.
I don't think anything here looks fancy. Yeah, this is ours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just like, I don't know, I like all the extra colors and stuff.
I don't know. I think it looks like something that Microsoft made way back in the day. So I think the purple look for us is a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it has a lot to do with you being nostalgic to the game, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the game. This is
all
I knew.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that this Famicom thing existed until not too long ago. But I feel like this has a more unique and distinct look, specific to Nintendo.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
for sure.
Than that, because like I said, that just looks like what Microsoft would have done if they got into the video game systems way back then.
Yeah, for sure.
So
the precursor to the Xbox or something.
Yes.
Or whatever. Did they have something before the Xbox? I don't think they did.
It would have been the Xbox 3X.
Right.
Then the Xbox. Then the Xbox 360. Then the Xbox One. And the Xbox One X.
One X.
Stupid.
Then the Xbox original.
Yes.
Then the Xbox.
That will almost certainly be the next thing they make. My gosh.
Then the Xbox. No, really, guys, this is the real one. This is the first one.
The Xbox Truth. The Xbox Forerunner.
Yes.
The real Xbox.
Nothing is before this Xbox. Yes. Yes. No, that's interesting.
No, it'll probably be something. It'll probably be like the Xbox Final. The last Xbox.
The last Xbox.
That way the next one can be the new Xbox.
Was Sony doing anything before the PlayStation 1? Do you think Sony would release a PlayStation 1 Classic? Or a PlayStation Classic, I guess it would be called?
Yeah, PlayStation Classic or PS1 Classic.
I have a PlayStation in my house somewhere. Like an
really?
original PlayStation, yeah. Someone gave it to me a long time ago,
neat.
And I had it in a box, and I've just kept it in that box.
I mean, because of PlayStation's backwards compatibility and how good they were with that for a while.
Gosh, yes.
The first PS1 isn't necessary outside of nostalgia reasons, because PS2 can play any PS1 game.
Yeah.
And can work with their memory
Sony
cards
kind of
as
just
well.
Gave up on that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, once the 3 came out.
Yeah. Because the first 3s were backwards compatible, like the first round of them.
Yeah. But even they, I heard, were
stopped.
Like glitchy or something, or not great or something.
And like Xbox never even really tried.
Yeah.
Like you had to be, like for the Xbox 360 to run certain Xbox One games, you had to be connected to Xbox Live, and you had to download files to play it, even though you had the disc with you. So you would have to download certain files from Xbox
Live.
Over
or weird things like that.
I don't know.
So the 3 came out.
That's been bad.
And then the 4 came out.
Ever since the PS3,
yeah.
Yeah. But the PS2 can play any PS1 game perfectly fine. And I just think that's so lovely.
Which is why PS2 was one of the better ones.
And the Wii, I think, can play any GameCube games.
Yep. which was great.
Yeah,
that was
just like
amazing.
Yeah, like Nintendo was good about that for a while too, especially with their handheld games, because like the Game Boy Color can play anything the Game Boy can. The Game Boy Advance can play Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and original Game Boy games.
Yeah,
and then the first round of DS could play Advance games and DS games.
Yep,
and
now all
your 2DS can play DS games and 3DS games. And that's
your 3DS games can play 2DS regular DS games and 3DS games. Yeah,
that's all you got, though.
Yep, that's it.
But yeah.
Yeah, so now if anything has backwards compatibility, it's genuinely just the last thing's compatibility. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll just be able to play last generation's games. Which, I mean, from a business standpoint, I kind of see. If you're going to think forward with a console, you might as well think forward with a game. Yeah. The only problem I feel with I have with something like that, though, is that because of those things, people rely heavily on launch titles for new consoles. And we get things like the Switch, when it came out, what was it, like 6 games? Came out, and everybody was just like,
I don't know, it was like 2.
Really?
When it launched, there were, I think,
Bomberman, Just Dance, Skylanders.
I don't think those all came out the day, though. I think, like, on launch, there were maybe 3 games.
I thought all those were launch titles.
Like 1, 2 Switch. Maybe they were. They just weren't good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what. Maybe there was 1 good game and 5 crap. I know 1, 2 Switch was 1, and Zelda, obviously.
Yeah, and I heard Bomberman, Just Dance, and Skylanders all.
Honestly, I really want to play the Bomberman. I'm one of I'm sure 2 people that loves Bomberman.
Wants to play Bomberman.
I
haven't played a Bomberman game, and I've always been fascinated with it. I've been fascinated with since
so cool.
I used to watch a gaming show that College Humor did years ago, and I couldn't even remember the name College Humor. And I was talking to a friend about it the other day. I was just like, what is the name of that company? I wanted to call it BuzzFeed, but it wasn't BuzzFeed. It was College Humor.
Pre-BuzzFeed. What was the name of that company that did like funny stuff on university campuses? It was like University Funny.
But they had a game show. They had a game show called Bleep Bloop. And it was awesome. These guys are great. And they had a segment on there where they would play 8-player games. And they'd find games that you could play with up to 8 people, and generally what it was you had to get 2 consoles and you link them together somehow in old ways, and you'd get 4 people on each console. And they found games that you could play with 8 people, and they'd get 7 friends together and they'd play 8 people games. And they had an episode they dedicated to playing 8-man Bomberman, and it looked fascinating. It looked gnarly.
I'm all about that. I would love to do that.
And I was imagining when they put out 8-player Smash in the Smash 4 for the Wii U, I was just like, oh man, you're gonna do 8-player games. How cool is that? Let's bring it back, baby. Let's play some 8-player games.
Gosh,
I miss games you can play with people in the room.
Right?
Like,
who'd have thought that would stop happening?
And that's the thing. I think I miss the most about video games, because you and I have had discussions before about how, and maybe it also has attributed to the fact that, like, in the last few years of my life, I've gotten into board games, and I really enjoy the social aspect of board games compared to the actual gameplay of board games. Like, I love the gameplay of board games. The more complicated, the better. The more strategy, the better. Definitely. But I love the fact that you have to be face to face to somebody while you're playing this game. Because I remember the days when you could play Halo at a friend's house, and you get a group of friends together and you play Halo.
Yeah.
And you're all talking to one another, and you're talking smack to one another, but you can't say anything too offensive because you're in the same room with that person. You can just throttle them if they say something. And it's like, now it's like we're so connected to the internet now. And I sound like an old man. What is this?
You're an old man.
I'm not an old man. Mm-hmm. I'm younger than you are. And I'm not even, I got into gaming late. But it's just like, it just feels that, like, man, I just miss that. I miss that, the social aspect of video gaming in the household. You know what I mean? Like, let's get some friends in there.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that.
Smash 4 is like brought it back a little bit, and you get some things things like the Jackbox games and stuff. Those help.
Those are super fun. Well, one of the things I was going to say is I think that's one of the reasons that Smash has held on so long, and despite the fact that it's a very well-made game and that it has lovable characters in it, it still caters very well to let's get a group of people together and play this game.
Yeah.
It's one of the few games I know that we can do that with.
Yeah, exactly.
And we do it on the regular. About every other month, a friend of ours will be like, "Hey, we're having a Smash tournament," and just get a bunch of people, and you don't even have to know everybody there. We usually don't know everybody there.
Yeah.
We just get together and play Smash Brothers for a couple hours, and it's super fun and great.
Yep.
And it's possible to do that.
Yeah.
It's not like whatever the latest Halo was, where they don't even have split screen.
Yeah, no, the newest ones don't even have split screen.
Yeah, no, and I mean like, and
it's interesting because, and this is something that bothers me is that like TV screens have gotten bigger and better and clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the prime time for split screen gameplay. You know what I mean?
Split that huge screen into a bunch. I understand that. And
8-player Halo. That'd be really weird. You'd have to get you a projector or something.
Yeah.
But like, holy crap, man.
It's just I don't get it. Don't get it. But yeah, Smash Bros is great, and to be able to keep up with the times because they have the online version, so you can play it the way all these newfangled games are playing.
Yeah.
Or you can just play it regs, have some friends over and smash.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, that's cool. I think that's one of the things I don't know. Nintendo really thinks really hard about their end users' experience with their games.
Mm-hmm.
I think more so than most other companies do.
Yeah.
And their quality control is much better, I also believe. And so
they've made some mistakes in the past, but I don't think nearly as bad as some of the other companies necessarily.
I don't think they've made any like company ruining mistakes.
No, nothing like that.
They've definitely made
nothing like that. But every company has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But like I do feel that Nintendo is passionate about trying to get its fan base and whatever, and I think that it does take into the consideration those kinds of things, and so I think that was one of the big deals with the Wii, and I think that's one of the big deals with the Switch. I think the Switch has been really taking off, and I'm really hoping that they capitalize on this and take this this opportunity to like make some really decent Switch games. And I like that they're now opening it to third parties, and I'm hoping that they're going to take the opportunity to get some really decent third party games in there. We already heard, I was telling you about the situation with the FIFA situation, because the people can play FIFA with their friends, or they can't play FIFA with their friends, but they can play it with strangers. Yeah. And apparently it has something to do with the fact that like the way the Switch is, like your friends list on the Switch doesn't necessarily link up with the online services of games. And so for game companies to work with it, they have to kind of like pay more money to work around that situation. They have to like take more time and energy to like code around the friends list so that it would actually do what it's supposed to do, because Nintendo hasn't made it really like user friendly for game designers to work around that. So it would be possible to make FIFA where you can play with your friends, but it would take either Nintendo or EA to put more money into making that more accessible and more easy. So instead, we're going to probably get more games. This is probably a sign that we're probably going to get more games where there's multiplayer, but you can't play with your friends.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Can you split screen Overwatch?
No, you can only play. Yeah. It's just one per screen. Yeah.
But that game's doing fine.
Game's doing fine. I mean, yeah, it's Blizzard.
Yeah, games just thrive on that. I don't know. It seems more and more like fighting games are the only real kind of games. Now, new games coming out that you can really play with someone else in the room.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is strange.
That's about it.
But anyway.
The Lego games too, I guess.
Yeah, truth.
You can play it with up to 4 players in Legos, I think.
I really like my SNES Classic. I'm very satisfied with this purchase. This is the first video game purchase I've made in a while. And I'm super happy with it. I would definitely buy another one if given the chance.
I'd buy one. Goodness gracious. We stopped by the other day, today just to see if they had it anymore, and they didn't.
And they were like, nah.
They said they sold it out. But honestly, after hearing your story, they could just...
I imagine they might have sold out that day.
Yeah.
But they definitely didn't sell out immediately like they probably could have had they not been a bunch of morons. But anyways, it's a great system. It's a system that allows you to play with someone else. There's a good bit of 2-player games on it. I think at least half of the games on it are 2-player, and it comes with a second controller, which is very convenient. Super nostalgic, super fun. If you played these games as a kid, it's real fun to go back and do it again. I love playing Donkey Kong again. And if you haven't played them and you're a gamer now, I think it's a good plan to teach yourself some things and go back and play these games. Go back and see where gaming was, nearly 30 years ago now?
Yeah. I'm just looking online. People are selling their SNES classics for $185, $180, $155, $285, $280.
Yeah, no. I looked them up in the store that morning as part of my morning process after she first said that they don't have any. I was looking it up, and I went to buy SNES and pulled up on eBay and everything was like $200 or more, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess I could do that. Yeah. But luckily, good things come to those who wait, and one eventually materialized, and I purchased it. But
Stockinformer.com says they have this Super SNES for $80 right now.
Oh, buy it, David.
I don't know if I trust this site.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Oh no, it tells you where they would have it. Okay,
gotcha.
Looks like Amazon, eBay, and that's it. Looks like there's a few GameStops that might still have some.
Cool.
Yeah. This might be like your guy.
A bit of advice that I got.
Like your website you were talking about.
Phil was to go to like really remote Walmarts or GameStops, like.
We should go to Natchitoches.
No, dog.
We should go to their Walmart.
Yeah, that's right. Say hi to everybody in town.
Drive out there.
They're all in the Walmart.
Get us a SNES.
You should call ahead and see if they got it.
Right.
If they got it, we'll go.
Right.
We'll go right now.
We'll go right now.
But no, it's a great system. It's good for any Nintendo fanboy or fangirl. It's good for anybody that really enjoys old games. Like that's another thing I was really excited about because my girlfriend Anna really likes sort of older retro games, and so I was excited to have this so we'd have something to play together. And it has not disappointed. It's been super fun. And for the price, it's great. If you can still get your hands on one in stores at $80.
Yeah, if you can still get it for $80, that's marvelous.
Amazing. I super recommend it for anyone who did play the games or didn't play the games. It's good. As far as like user interface, it's it's not. So none of these. So the way the system works, there's a reset button. Because in all these older games, if you wanted to get back to the main menu, most of the ways you did that was resetting the game. There wasn't a lot of like menu structures to get back to different things as there are now, which is a fun thing to help you appreciate the way games are set up now, I guess, how good we've gotten with UI and UX. So like if you're playing a game and you don't want to play that game anymore, you hit the reset button and it just puts it doesn't actually reset everything. It just sends you back to the home screen, really.
Yeah.
And then your progress is still there, and you can save snapshots of progress for the games that you're playing if you wanted. So there's two ways to save. A lot of the games have ways to save within the game, but you can also save sort of and pick up where you left off last.
That's cool.
Outside of that, which is cool. That's a fun feature. And outside of that, so the B button is your main selector on a lot of these games inside the game,
as opposed to the A button, which got big in the GameCube. Yeah,
right. And so, but outside, when you're selecting games to play, your A button is your selector, and your B button just takes you back to your last selection. So that's an interesting little thing that you just have to think about. Which is nuts
because my first game I played on this was Punch-Out. And Punch Out is not that way. So when I played the other games, that was when it got jarred.
Yes. So B is your main button, like to jump or to attack or whatever in most of your games. Because like essentially, the way they drew it out on the controller is it looks like you have two diagonal lines of buttons.
Yeah.
But like honestly, it's just another set of directions. It's just like another D-pad essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Is how they're actually set. They're set up in like a cross pattern. And so the bottom of the cross, which is your in a lot of games and like if you're used to Xbox and PlayStation 2 controllers, the bottom of the cross of buttons would be your X or your A, and it's your main button. And this one it's just labeled B. So like mentally you think okay, back or deselect or things like that, and really it's just that's your main selection.
Is your A button,
so that's a thing you have to get over.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not used to, if you didn't play this and you weren't used to that. I didn't really think much of it going into it because I already played this system before.
Which is interesting because for me, on the 3DS, I play Super Mario 3D Land, and on Super Mario 3D Land, A and B do the same thing, and Y and X do the same thing. And that jarred, that blew my mind when I started playing that on the DS.
Buttons.
I was just like, oh, why do I keep jumping when I hit B? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah.
This was the first controller for Nintendo to have left and right buttons as well. Those didn't exist on the NES, so it was cool that it just had a whole, and I think on the NES,
bumpers, I
think on the NES you had a D-pad and two buttons and then a start and select. And this, they added an extra set of buttons on the main face of the controller, and then your left and right. So they added a lot of options to this game, to this console, which is really cool. I think it lended itself well to adapting things like fighting games that you were used to having on on an arcade with a joystick and like 6 buttons. But you can have all those here because of this controller, the way the controller is set up. It's good. Anyway, it's a good system. It's very fun to play, and it's allowed us to have a good conversation tonight.
Yeah.
So definitely pick one up if you haven't. If you haven't, though, it'll be hard, so get out there and do it fast.
Right.
If you have, please write in, let us know what you think about it. Drop some comments on the YouTubes, or send us some tweets, or send us some emails, whatever you want. You can find us at thosenerdsyouknowpod@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are at TNYKPod. Facebook is also at TNYKPod. We're Those Nerds You Know on YouTube. On YouTube, we are on Podbean and iTunes. Please check us out. Give us a rating. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. That would be lovely. And a review. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Do what you can. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you're excited about on the Super Nintendo Classic. Let us know what games you figured should have been on it but weren't on it. And let us know what your favorite one to play is right now. But yeah, that's about it, David. Yeah?
Yep, I think so.
Sounds good. I'm Ethan.
And I'm David.
And we are Those Nerds You Know.
Bye!